Sorry, guys. I'm posting this too soon. Okay, so day 4. Okay, sorry about that. All right, we are live. Got it. Okay, where are we? Where are we? Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to, here we go, here we go, here we go. Okay, I don't want to be there. I want to be here. All right, guys, we're gonna do something different today. So welcome. I'm right on time at 11 o'clock, but I wanted to take this 3 minutes and 30 seconds and hang out with my friend Sean. He's one of the most amazing motivational speakers I've ever known about. And unfortunately, he did pass away a few years ago, but I love this video of him, and it really inspires me whenever sometimes I am in a funk. And I'm gonna share it with you guys right now.
Hi, I'm Sean Stevenson, and I have to warn you, what you're about to see is going to be intense. And, well, just say you've been warned. I have a question. What do you do to get pumped up? All right? Well, I'm going to show you what I do. And in fact, I'm going to take it to the next level because I want you to do it with me. I call it a dance party. Yeah. So it's going to start off really simple, just shoulders right now. And you might think, what is he doing? Why is he doing this? Because it gets your body moving and it makes your spirit feel good. So we're moving the shoulders. And then we're going to start to get the arms inboard. Good. It's called a dance party. And we're going to take it up a notch in a moment. All right, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, he's gone crazy. And I have. Because life is meant to be enjoyed. All right, so now, you're going to lose it now in a moment. When the chorus really gets going, you're going to look around, make sure that you're alone when you do this, all right? Called a dance party, and you do it about 3 times a day. You just get your favorite song on and you get your move on. Because life is supposed to be silly, not so serious. I know this is probably going to be like the most watched video, but dance with me anytime you want. Are you dancing? Are you laughing at me? You're laughing at me. I know you're laughing at me. I would laugh at me. But you're going to watch this anytime you want to feel good. So you remember, leave yourself dance parties. Life is too short to get all serious and not have a good time. I'm Sean Stevenson. Thanks for watching.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I love Sean, and rest in peace. Like I said, he was an amazing motivational speaker. But that video actually has over 1 million views. So he was exactly right. Excuse me, in what he said. But all he did was post himself having fun, right? And it is a great reminder, because sometimes we just take ourselves way too seriously. And we get involved in the day-to-day and we forget we're supposed to be having fun. And it's really important to set aside some time to have fun every single day. And actually, it makes your life so much better to learn how to have fun and be a human being having fun instead of a human doing, which is how a lot of times our society portrays us, that you have to do. But when you really start committing to the time to take care of yourself and have fun, you know, major shifts can happen in your life, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was a little silly, and I'm hoping you laughed out loud and maybe even moved. So yay, Maria. Okay, cool. So, you know, it's so important, right? Music for me is one of the biggest motivators. So there's going to be times in your journey through triathlon that you don't want to work out, that you don't want to go to the pool, that you don't want to get on the bike, right? I will tell you that was really the case for me when I was training for RAM. You know, doing those 100-mile bike rides day after day after day was really, really tough. And so music definitely motivated me in so many ways. So, you know, I'd love to hear what you guys do for motivation on those days when you are not really feeling it. Do you remember your why, right? Does the music help pump you up? Do you use caffeine? Caffeine is a legal ergogenic aid. And in moderation, I do think it can really, really help you. I also I have some adaptogenic herbs. Sometimes that can help me, you know, kind of pick myself up if I'm feeling low, but also remembering what we talked about yesterday was having a planned recovery system. So you are getting the rest that you need and the recovery you need from your training and your life so that you don't get burnt out, right? And that's why I love my program so much. You guys see the yin and the yang in my logo. And it's there for a reason, because so many triathletes just burn themselves out. And they do way too much, way too fast, way too soon, and it's over, right? And they're like, oh, I can't do that anymore. And I'm like, yes, you can. You just have to come at it from a different angle and really listen to your body on the journey. And, you know, might need to make some micro adjustments to your goals, but your goals are still attainable, right? But you've got to give your body what you need, and fun. Dance parties are awesome fun, but also the nutrition and all the rest and recovery, like we talked about yesterday. So yeah, so okay, cool. So someone, or Jeremy, I think he's in Great Britain. So he says he listens to podcasts related to the sport he's doing. Hey, Jeremy, I'm doing good. That's awesome too. They actually did a study. I love podcasts. Like, I love to learn. So I am like a podcast addict. Like, every time I'm in the car, traffic in Miami is like crazy. So we always have tons of time in the car. I've got my Audible books on, you know, on Audible. And then I also have my podcast, but they actually did a study that your athletic performance is not as good unless you have music, or like you said, Jeremy, the topic that they're talking about is related to the actual movement. So say you're listening to a running podcast, then you might be running, and you might be running at the same time. That can have an effect. But if it's just like general information, it can actually not help you in your performance in your workout. So that was just a study that I think Ben Greenfield posted about that a long time ago. But anyway, so welcome back. We're not going to do any breath work today, just because we already breathed a little bit and danced a little bit. So even if you thought that was really ridiculous and silly, I challenge you to do it anyway, because honestly, I was not feeling it this morning, and I listened to that. Somebody sent that to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I love Sean. I'm going to do that today for you guys and help pump you up, right? So today is our last day. Very, very sad, I know, but it doesn't have to be the end if you so choose. I am, like I said, going to give you guys an opportunity, if you choose to come to a webinar tomorrow at 12:30 instead of 12, because I'm actually going to PT from 11 to 12. So I have some time to get home and get on the webinar with you. And it's a private setting, so it's more intimate. We can talk to each other. You know, it doesn't have to be on Facebook like it is now. It's kind of hard to talk to each other and see each other's faces. So thanks for showing up, or thanks for watching this if you're going to watch it later. As promised, I am giving you one of my top secret racing strategies. And some of you may have never done a race yet, okay? But that's okay, because this is just as important for your training as it is for your racing. But it's called pacing. So pacing yourself for the effort that is needed to accomplish the goal, okay? So many people, they start to work out and they're so excited about how they feel, and they start running. Let's just use running as an example. And they run as fast and hard as they can for, let's say, a certain period of time. Most people think a 5K is like the minimum, which it's not. And that's where a lot of people get into a lot of trouble with running injuries, because they start with a 5K and it's simply too hard on their bodies when they're coming from the couch, or they're coming from maybe not the couch, but they've been sedentary in an endurance type activity, and running is a lot of impact on your body. So they start with that 5K. They're like, yeah, I have to run 3 miles this very first time, and I'm going to run it as hard and fast as I can. And they're injured within the first, workout, right? So it kind of sucks, right? So pacing yourself as far as your ability is just as important as pacing yourself as far as your energy expenditure, right? So ideally, that person who is just starting out is walk running to start with, and they're keeping it very, very aerobic, right? And you have to build up your endurance for the distance of the race that you're doing. Now, you can only do that for certain distance races. You can train the distance of the race for triathlon, for a sprint, and Olympic a little bit, but you cannot train every single week the full distance of your half Ironman. And if you do, you will end up injured, burnt out, and never want to do the sport again. Okay, just trust me. Okay, so pacing yourself is a really awesome skill to have, and you want to implement it with every single workout you do. Okay, so what that looks like is, say you're going to run for 30 minutes. We're going to use the 5K example. If you have a 10-minute mile, you might have a 12-minute mile, or a 13-minute mile, or an 8-minute mile. Either way, you want to start the workout, every single workout you do, at an aerobic, easy pace. You definitely want to do some warming up as well, but that's a different topic. But you want to have your body get ready to get ready. And you want to start a lot slower than you're going to finish. And that's basically the whole idea of pacing. Every single workout you do, no matter what the intention of the workout is, like say you have a speed workout, say you're at the track and you're doing 400 repeats, which is 1 loop around the track. You still want to start with your warm-up mile very slow and aerobic. And then let's say you had 6 times 400 repeats around the track. And based on what we talked about on Tuesday, your zones, based on your metabolic test, that your 400 zone 5 pace is an 8-minute mile. Okay, we're just going to use that as an example. It could be 9-minute mile, 10-minute mile, whatever. So that you want to hold 2 minutes for that 400 around the track. Okay, so you want to pace yourself for that loop. Okay. So how you would do that is you would start, of course, looking at your numbers. If you pay attention to your numbers, you're going to improve. And you already measured by doing the testing and the evaluations, and you know what your potential is based on your physiological testing. This is not someone else's zone. These are yours. So that's possible. That's number one. So you're going to do your first lap. Okay. So it's a 400, and the goal is to hit it in 2 minutes. Okay, so say you hit the first one and you come in at 1:45. That is too fast for the prescribed workout. Okay, and yes, you are totally capable of it, but guess what? It's your first one, and you have 5 more to do. So your ego might say, okay, I felt really good, I'm going to keep going. And then what typically happens is the second one is a few seconds slower. You get 1:55, and then you hit 2, and then you're at 2:10, and the last one you're at 2:15, and you completely positive splitted the workout, as opposed to what we want to do, which is negative split. So to negative split the workout, you would do the exact opposite. You might actually start at a 210 for your first 400 and come in at that 210 and say, okay, that felt really easy. It felt good. I know I can go faster. And then you're going to come in and try to hit 205 and then 2 and then 155 and then perhaps 150. And then maybe that last one, you do push yourself and you challenge yourself and you see what's possible and you hit that 145 and you didn't even think that was possible. But the reason that it was possible most of the time is because you negative split it. Almost every single world record or championship in endurance sports has come from a negative split or an evenly split race. Very, very rarely, if someone starts too fast, do they finish first. Very, very rarely. Usually they blow themselves up. You get too much of a lactic acid dump and you cannot recover from that throughout the duration of the race or the workout. And then you positively split and you end slower. But you guys, that is a game changer. If you can start to negatively split every single workout that you ever do, you will have amazing race results because you want to implement the same exact strategy when you race. And when you do that, you always have gas in the tank. That last 5K of your 70.3 or of your Olympic distance try or of your sprint try, right? If you pace yourself on the swim, the bike, and then the run, you will have the success you've never had before, instead of positively splitting. Now, is it difficult to do? Not really. If you pay attention to your numbers and you have a watch, no, it is not hard at all. But what happens is our ego is like, okay, I'm going to go out fast and strong, or there's someone next to you and you're racing them instead of just racing yourself. And you get caught up in the moment. And remember, it's your race, not their race. And so, staying present within you and your numbers and knowing that you're competing against yourself is super important if you want to have that amazing race result. Okay, so pacing. Does anybody have any questions about that? Does anybody currently already negative split in their workouts, or have you guys ever heard of this concept? I would love to know. Hey, Michelle. So if you missed it, please go back and listen because this is a top secret. It's not even a secret, but it's a super awesome strategy to help improve your performance in your workouts and in your race days. And of course, there's a lot of factors that are involved. Okay, so you always want to check in with your nutrition, pre-workout, during workout, post-workout. Obviously, the conditions matter, but you are in control of your effort all the time. It's up to you to hold yourself back to then be able to finish stronger. And I have athletes that, have done this, and it's taken a couple of trips to the track or a couple of repeats in their neighborhood, doesn't matter where you are, or at the pool, where they're finally getting the concept. But you won't get the concept unless you're looking at your numbers, because you can't guess at how fast you're going, right? It doesn't go by feel, because if you go by feel, 90% of the time you're going to positive split because you always feel good in the beginning and you always tend to want to go faster earlier in the race. But the secret is to pace yourself and hold back, and then you have gas in the tank for that last, whatever it is, portion of your marathon, half marathon, Ironman, whatever the case is. Negative splitting is the key. So, all right, Mark, do you know what negative splitting is? I think you just missed all the good stuff. So please go back and watch it. We also started with a super fun dance party. So I hope you guys come back. So I wanted to also just remind you that all the stuff we've covered, right? And also my mentor, actually, Paul Check, he actually posted a really good reminder today about when you do set your goals, okay? When you do set your goals for your races, you want to write them out. Like, I love to have my goals front and center, and put them in a past tense as if they've already happened, right? So just say you have a goal time of an Ironman or a half Ironman or a 5K. Let's stick with the 5K running goal. Say, I am so grateful and thankful for my strong, successful body to be able to accomplish my 5K in 30 minutes, right? That's how you want to state your dream goal, right? Instead of, I want to run a 5K in 30 minutes. Now, do you guys know the difference between those two? The wanting, if you wish in a wanting way, you just get wanting back. You don't get the actual goal. So Paul, actually, you can look it up today, but you can look on his Instagram. He says it as praying, but if you're praying for a different outcome or a goal, and you want to shout it out to the Grand Canyon, and the Grand Canyon is like a boomerang, and it echoes you back what you said. And if you say, I want to lose weight, I want to lose 10 pounds, and you shout it out there and it echoes back to you and it says, I want to lose 10 pounds. Guess what? You're not hearing your goal. You're hearing a wanting. So you say, I lost 10 pounds and I feel amazing. And you shout that out and it comes back to you. I lost 10 pounds and it feels amazing. That is how you set up your goal. So I want a sub 3 hour aqua bike championship is not the way to do it, right? I'm so grateful and thankful for my strong, successful body to achieve this 2 hour, 55-minute aqua bike world championships. Larry, I just did use yours for you. So, think about how you're framing your dreams and goals, right? Because if you're constantly in a wanting state, it doesn't provide you action. And that's actually the next step. We talked about taking action. And so I am offering you guys, yay. Mark says he always negative splits, not always successful. So you always try to negative split, but you're not always successful. Yeah, so it takes practice. Practice is practice, right? So just like all the assessments I told you, from assessments, from those video analysis, we give homework as far as, correcting what's wrong. And then you got to practice and practice. Pacing is just as much of a practice as your drills and for biomechanics. So way to go, Mark. So Michelle says that she struggles with pacing. Most of my runs are in the mountain and hills. Oh, yeah, so for sure. Okay, cool. So this is a great question, Michelle. Thank you so much. So she always has hills around, and honestly, that is tough. Michelle, where do you live? We, of course, are in Florida. We don't have that. But guess what? We do have a bridge, right? So that's where we focus our training to be able to train on hills. But yeah, training in the hills is tough. And yes, since you can't control the pace as much because you're going uphill or downhill, you want to keep it within a 30-second range though, as much as possible as your hill training. So try not to think of the hill as, okay, I can slow down now. And then on the downhill, I'll go faster. You want to try to match those as much as possible, the pacing wise. But yes, she asks if the heart rate is a good idea. And yes, it is, because you can still keep your heart rate within a certain range if you know your heart rate zones based on your testing, just like we talked about on Tuesday. So doing your testing and looking at all your heart rates for your run test, your bike test, your swim test, you can totally, well, if you're talking about hills on the bike or the run, you can totally use your heart rate zones to help you stay within your aerobic pace on the way up so that you have something to run with on the way down. A lot of people attack the bridge or attack a hill and they go way too hard on the way up. And then guess what? They're toast for the way down. And the way down is where you have a really huge advantage to go faster for the run and the bike. So Michelle, great question. I hope that answers your question. Asheville, I love Asheville. Actually, I've been to the Biltmore many times. We used to go there as a child, and we go to usually every summer, and we didn't do it this year because I was at RAM, but every summer we do a cycling camp in Beach Mountain. So we drive nearby there, not too far. So that's awesome though. You're lucky that you get the cooler weather and the leaves changing. So that's awesome, Michelle. Very cool. Okay, you guys. So just wanted to recap the dream, making sure you're prioritizing and how you're writing it out. And yes, pen to paper is really, really effective, and having it front and center for whatever the goal is. If it's athletic, if it's triathlon, but if it's also health or maybe energy or whatever the case is, you want to write it out as if it's already happened in a positive way. And then you got to take action. You have to take action toward the goal. It's not one of those things where you just think about it and it happens. If that were the case, like I said, we would all be iron ladies and iron men and, not have to work towards it, right? But takes action. So I am inviting you guys, if you're interested in learning more, to my webinar tomorrow. So 12:30. It's going to be recorded, but you still have to register. Okay, so how do you register? You fill out my application. Now, my application is pretty cool because it actually gives me your athletic background. So it's going to ask you questions like how often you train. It's going to ask you like what kind of bike you have, if you have a bike, just so I can assess what level you are. And then I can give you the webinar that we're going to be on tomorrow, kind of give you some more details about how the program would work for you based on your level. Okay. And this is a completely virtual program, the Triathlon Transformation Program, completely virtual. I have online learning. I have obviously video analysis, and I have obviously all the systems that I've created over my last 25 years of coaching, training, and racing. And I'm super proud of this program because I've worked very, very hard over the last 25 years to create it. And I definitely know what works and what doesn't. And I have simple strategies to implement into your life. So I don't like it when people come to me, like I said, and they say, okay, well, I have 6 kids and I work 60 hours a week and I'm doing an Ironman in 4 months, because that's a big challenge for me and for you. And there's a big risk that you will burn out and not even make it to the start line. So that puts more pressure on me. It doesn't mean I can't do it, but that's the effectiveness of having a coach and a program and a system that completely works, because you're not doing any junk miles. With your evaluations, with your assessments, with the information that I have from you as an individual, you can be doing a program that fits into your life instead of the other way around, where triathlon takes over your life. Now, none of us here are professional triathletes. Let's be honest, nobody's getting paid to do triathlon, but we love the lifestyle. We're interested in it. It excites us. It makes life more exciting. Honestly, if I didn't have triathlon in my life, I think things would be pretty boring. But I love the way I feel when I cross the finish line. I love the way I feel when I swim, bike, and run. And I know you guys are feeling the same thing. But having a proven system that completely works and fits into your life is essential, because otherwise you're always going to be, no one wants to be disappointed in the fact that their workouts are not getting done, but this is what's necessary to race this certain distance race, right? So having a coach is really, really helpful. I have had coaches my entire career. It really helps take the emotion out of it. I definitely needed it for my RAM training, just because I was so focused on the volume that I lost sight of, okay, I still just need to maintain strength and I'll be okay. And I am going to be talking about my RAM experience. It's actually taken me quite a few months to kind of overcome all the trauma that happened on that event. But I'm super proud of myself for what happened and how I came through, and we were successful, right? We ended up getting first place in our category just because we were the only ones in that category. But, you know, riding our bike 3,078 miles across the country in 8 days is pretty challenging. And I used all of my strategies, right, to help make it through that. And those strategies work, right? So I have so many triathlete testimonials. If you guys want to read more about them, you can go to my website, fullcirclecoaching.com, and look on blogs and click on Rockstar Triathletes. And then I'd love for you guys to follow me on YouTube or subscribe to my YouTube channel. And Happy Triathletes is the playlist. And you can see a lot of lives that I've done with interviews with all of my triathletes. And these are virtual, right? I do have a group in Miami, but this program is meant to be for a virtual coaching program. And I think that is it for today. So if you haven't seen the link dropped into the messages right now, Rosemary is going to do that. If it hasn't happened already, I know it was attached to yesterday's recording. But I would love to see you in tomorrow's webinar. If you have any questions, just DM me. I will reply to you, and fill out the application. And I think that's it. So would love to, oh yeah, I wanted to also mention, because someone asked what this was. So this is a biogeometry pendulum that helps protect me from EMF. And actually, I wanted to bring this up. So nutrition and lifestyle is a part of my program. So I'm a holistic lifestyle nutritionist, as you know. And the EMF is one of the things that people are not really aware of that really, really affects your energy. And by having protection in your house and using, you know, brown light on your computer and on your phone, those are great ways to help keep your energy up. And, you know, some of the big things that hold triathletes back is their lack of energy, their lack of skill, and then their lack of putting it all together, right? So this is also something that you're going to learn about in my Nutrition Essentials program, which we're starting soon. So I would love to talk more about all that stuff inside of my triathlon transformation program, which I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So I'd love to see you guys there. Wishing you well. Oh, there's some good running trails. Cool. Oh yeah, so Rosemary just dropped in the link for the application. We've already had 1 or 2 people already fill it out. So I'm excited to see you guys tomorrow on the live. I'd love to share if you have any feedback about this live. Was it helpful to you? I love sharing my wisdom with everybody, and I want to give as much as I can. So if there's something else that you're interested in and you want to learn more about, please message me or post it here and just say, hey, this was great, or this sucked. You know, I want to know the truth, right? Did you learn anything? Did you learn anything? And I appreciate you showing up and sharing your comments with me. And remember, you guys are inspirations to other people in this group, and I love this group. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys tomorrow. And like I said, if I don't see you tomorrow, we will be doing more stuff throughout the rest of the year to end 2022 with a bang. All right, guys, don't forget to do your dance party again later. All right, have an awesome day. Bye.